Hello guys, I am Zachariah the Ghostwriter. I want to say thank you for your love and your support. The channel is currently sitting on 10,131 subscribers. I want to thank you for your love and your support. I uploaded the video about Huguenot Tunnel and I didn't give you, full details. I was on my trip from Ilovo to Cape Town. Yes, when we talk about Cape Town is a city. I was going to Sea Point, to be specific. It's a long drive. It's a 14-hour drive. And I have learned a lot, alongside, other drivers. Because remember, when you are driving, you are not driving alone. You see how other drivers are behaving. And I've realized that, people have the spirit of Ubuntu, whereby they move on the side to allow you to pass because they understand that you might be, going far. You might be driving, maybe all the way to Cape Town. Because this is Northern Cape. So driving from Gauteng to Cape Town, you have to pass Free State, you have to pass Northern Cape, then you have to be at, Western Cape, which is, the province where you will get Cape Town, known as Mother City. While I was driving, I started to realize certain things. Some people will tell you that, God spoke with me. But I always want to say God spoke with me if he directly spoke with me via a prophet or in my dreams. But while I'm driving and I get this type of a feeling or this type of an energy or a word, I like to put it in a way that, God make you realize certain things. God brings you into a realization that, certain things don't matter. And certain things you need to put them first. And one thing that I've learned while I'm busy driving is that sometimes things like depression, stress, pressure, sadness are there because of we chase rabbits barefoot. Rigitimisha mebutla ka maoto. Chasing rabbits barefoot is just a task which is brutal. Because it's very rare that you can catch that rabbit. We are actually doing the opposite. We go out there searching for answers. We go out there searching for happiness and peace. We go out there searching for love. We go out there searching for money. We go out there searching for jobs and everything. But actually everything begins with us. So if we learn not to chase rabbits barefoot, if we understand that it is so difficult to catch the rabbit running barefoot, we can save ourselves from a lot of injuries. Instead, what we have to do is to plant carrots. Rabbits at some point will want carrots. Then you become the supplier. They don't teach us these things. They don't teach us these things. We learn the hard way. And because of we are deep in sadness, we start questioning God. So on my way to Cape Town, I realized that I must fill gas. I must get petrol. So I saw a petrol station at this place called Colesbeck. And the petrol attendant was so nice. He even offered, to wash my car because he asked about the oil and water, everything was fine. The car just, came back from service. So he offered to wash the car. So I allowed him to wash the car. I was not alone in the car. So there were like 3 other guys who helped him. They washed the car. While, the gentleman is busy, pouring petrol, because I had to, fill petrol 3 times from Joburg to Cape Town. So when those guys are done, I decided to, go and get myself a cup of coffee because I saw Seattle coffee shop. And I was like, okay, let me go and get myself a cup of coffee. So on my way to the coffee shop, there was this guy who was sitting outside the shop, covering himself with blanket, because Northern Cape is cold and it was windy that day. So the guy was wearing, a blanket. I thought maybe the guy was sleeping. So I went inside and I ordered myself my favorite cup of coffee. On my way out, the guy was still sitting at the same spot. But this time his eyes were wide open. He was looking direct into my eyes. And he asked if I can give him something to eat. I didn't want to talk much. I just told him that I have nothing. I kept walking. But something told me to look back. And when I looked back, this guy was still looking at me. He couldn't take his eyes off me. I felt guilty. I walked back towards him and I told him, bruh, this is what I have. I gave him a little bit of money. He showed appreciation. He was happy because he knew that he will go and buy bread or buy something to eat. But the time he was looking direct into my eyes, I can tell that, this guy couldn't believe that I can just walk past him carrying a cup of coffee and not give him anything to eat. I asked him his name. He told me that his name is John. John has been waiting there for hours. John has been waiting. Sometimes we travel and we don't know who is waiting for us. You see, his face light up when I gave him money. He knew how important that money is to him. I didn't stay long with John. I said my goodbyes and I went to the car. And I didn't even have a chance to put sugar in my coffee. And I looked on my right hand side and there were these 2 guys who might be 8 or 10. These boys. They were just standing there looking at me. They were covered with dust and I looked at those kids and I just saw myself. They reminded me when I was young, playing in the dusty streets, sandy road of Kromugamagato in Malibo. The way they were breathing, you can tell they were running. They didn't even say a single word. Of course, when you travel, you have snacks, you have all this type of stuff so that you can keep, the journey short. So I gave them a chocolate. It was still a full chocolate so that they can divide. And I realized that they didn't leave immediately. I gave them chocolate, even if it was not open. They were still waiting. I gave them money. But I told them that they must divide that chocolate. I asked them their names. They told me their names, but they were so excited, I couldn't even catch their names. Put sugar there, stirred in my coffee. Then I was asked if I saw what those boys did after I gave them money. I didn't see anything. After I gave them money, I went back to my coffee. And I was told that those boys, they ran straight to their mother. Their mother was sitting somewhere there.